Good, happy Monday morning, January 27, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Monday morning, so let's begin. First step, one killed in crash on Route 10 in Winchester. 4 others injured. One vehicle traveling north veered into the path of a dump truck. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Tim Callery.
Trying hard to get a better signal? Enjoy clear cell phone talking with signalbooster.com.
911 call came in just before 1:30 Sunday afternoon. First responders arriving to a mangled mess on Route 10 in Winchester, the result of a serious head-on crash.
We were assisted by the Winchester Police Department, Swansea PD was there, Winchester Fire, Swansea Fire.
State Police Sergeant Sean Eaton says 47-year-old John Lafreniere of Keene was driving north in a 2011 Chevy Impala when his car crossed into the southbound lane and slammed into a 1997 Ford dump truck driven by 25-year-old Joseph Green, also of Keene.
With him was an adult female, also age 25, and 2 children ages 6 and 5.
Green and one of the children were flown to Dartmouth-Hitchcock Medical Center in Lebanon with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. His 2 other passengers were taken to a local hospital.
They received serious but non-life-threatening injuries and were transported to the Cheshire Medical Center.
Lafreniere was pronounced dead at the scene. Route 10 was shut down for several hours as investigators processed the crash site and cleared the road. As for what caused Lafreniere's car to cross the center line, that is still unknown.
At this point, all aspects of the crash are currently under investigation.
And now, if you witnessed this crash or have any information that may help investigators figure out what happened here, you're asked to contact state police. Reporting in Keene, I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. American Red Cross campaign offers free smoke alarms for lives saved in New Hampshire. 700 lives saved nationwide by campaign. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Sharif LeClaire.
Huge tax breaks for the rich while the middle class continues to struggle. That's what happens when billionaires are able to control.
New Hampshire firefighters have responded to multiple fires recently in which there were no working smoke alarms. So the Red Cross tonight is reminding people of its free program. As part of the Home Fire campaign, Red Cross volunteers will come to your home, install free smoke alarms, and educate people about home fire safety. Red Cross New Hampshire and Vermont officials say this program has already saved lives.
We've saved close to 700 nationwide, and here in New Hampshire, we've saved 4 lives since we started the program. So the program does work. When you hear the smoke alarm, you will leave the house.
Now, to learn more and request smoke alarms, you can call the number that's running on the bottom of your screen right now. If someone in your home is deaf or hard of hearing, they can install shaker alarms as well.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Michael Bennett redoubles New Hampshire commitment to spend all campaign time in Granite State through primary. Colorado Senator will even spend day of Iowa caucus in first primary state. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Jessica Moran.
Bernie Sanders is on our side and always has been, fighting to protect a woman's right to choose.
Michael Bennet is using every hour of his Sunday off from the impeachment trial to get back on the campaign trail and try and reach out to Granite State voters.
Very happy to be in New Hampshire for this 24-hour period.
Fresh off the impeachment trial, Senator Bennet hosting a town hall in Nashua today. He spoke to voters and then exclusively to News 9 about his decision to skip Iowa and stay in New Hampshire on caucus night.
And I think it'll be good for me to be here on caucus night.
So all in on New Hampshire for you?
All in on New Hampshire. I've been here more than any other candidate. I've had, I think at this point, more than 80 town halls. I've still got another 15 to do, and I'm just going to scrap until the very end here.
During Sunday's town hall, Bennet acknowledged he's low in the polls and asked those in attendance for their help.
New Hampshire has an amazing ability to change the story that's being told in this race, to reject conventional wisdom, and I think to put us on the path of actually being able to win this thing.
Hi, how are you?
Bennett's day started in Concord, taking part in a roundtable discussion with parents, grandparents, and educators about early childhood education. Bennett was playfully interrupted while discussing concerns from voters.
That's another way of saying we can't afford a middle-class life. We can't save, you know. We think our kids are going to live with more diminished. I know.
Bennett plans to fly back to D.C. tonight for the impeachment trial, and then when his schedule allows, he'll fly back to the Granite State and stay here, even through the Iowa caucuses. In Nashua, Jessica Moran, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. John Kerry, campaigning in New Hampshire for Biden, praises former VP's experience per preparation for presidency. Former Secretary of State says if Senate does not call witnesses in impeachment trial, it will become a cover-up. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
This is our moment. This is our one shot to defeat Donald Trump. I'm asking you to join me to help turn the page on our politics. That is why I am running for president.
After two polls released today show Joe Biden trailing Senator Bernie Sanders in New Hampshire, one of the former vice president's most recognized supporters was in the state to try to rally support. Former Secretary of State John Kerry won the New Hampshire Democratic presidential primary back in 2004. And although he didn't win the presidency, he did win New Hampshire's 4 electoral votes in November of that year. A CNN poll conducted by the UNH Survey Center showed nearly half of Granite Staters have not yet made up their minds, but believe Biden stands the best chance of defeating President Trump.
I love New Hampshire, and I respect New Hampshire for the independence it has in this kind of an endeavor. And I'm not here to tell people who to vote for, but I'm here to say why I believe Joe Biden is the person for this moment because of his work for 8 years as vice president, his knowledge of foreign policy.
You can read more about John Kerry's visit to New Hampshire on John DeStaso's primary source on our website. And you can keep track of all the primary candidates' appearances with the candidate tracker on WMUR.com, as well as our mobile app.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Shaheen calls on Trump to apologize for downplaying injuries. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
This is our moment. This is our one shot to defeat Donald Trump. I'm asking you to join me to help turn the page on our politics. That is why I am running for president.
New Hampshire Senator Jeanne Shaheen is calling on President Trump to apologize for downplaying the injuries suffered by U.S. service members in an Iranian missile attack. President Trump previously said the injuries were not very serious. Shaheen calling those remarks ignorant and saying he owes an apology. 34 service members have been diagnosed with traumatic brain injuries since the January 8th attack on U.S. bases in Iraq.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Sanders leads in two latest New Hampshire primary polls. Buttigieg, Biden tied for second. CNN UNH poll says half of New Hampshire Democrat primary voters haven't yet made a final decision. U.S. features down more than 200 points as coronavirus case rises. U.S. stock index features fell Monday morning after more cases of the coronavirus were confirmed over the weekend. Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter among 9 victims in tragic helicopter crash. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
The tragic death of NBA legend Kobe Bryant, killed today in a helicopter crash in Southern California. The retired Los Angeles Lakers star and his 13-year-old daughter among 9 victims after that chopper went down and ignited near Calabasas, California. Video from the immediate aftermath showing a fire in the hills as first responders rushed to the scene, and from the sky, a vast debris field, the wreckage still smoldering late today. The news sending shockwaves all around the world, and fans in Los Angeles tonight streaming to the Staples Center, where Bryant helped win 5 championships for the Lakers. We will have much more on that reaction and Bryant's legacy, but we begin with the new details just in on that accident. ABC News Chief National Correspondent Matt Gutman is at the crash site tonight.
South of 101 helicopter went down.
Tonight, tragedy in the hills of Calabasas, California. A helicopter carrying NBA legend Kobe Bryant, his 13-year-old daughter Gianna, and 7 others crashing around 10 a.m. this morning, bursting into flames, killing everyone on board. The smoke seen for miles, fire crews racing to the scene.
Paramedics were hoisted down to the incident early into the incident. They did a search of the area for survivors. Unfortunately, all the survivors on board were determined to have been perished.
Eyewitnesses say they saw the chopper flying low and heard the engine sputtering before the crash.
I heard some noise of helicopter was struggling. I mean, you can tell because the engine was not really running fast.
I heard a helicopter just flying just way too low, and I heard like a loud thud noise.
The individuals that saw the aircraft said it was coming down at a fairly significant rate of speed and impacted the ground on the hillside behind me here.
And tonight, dozens gathering here at the scene of the crash in shock at the loss of a man who meant so much to Los Angeles.
I'm sick right now.
I'm sick. I'm sick.
There on the curb, we found this woman who couldn't stop crying.
Sorry.
And we met this young man named Bryant after his parents' favorite basketball player.
Matt Gutman joins us now live from near the site of that terrible crash where so many are gathering to mourn Kobe Bryant tonight. And Matt, it's still a very active scene there behind you.
It is, Tom. The FAA is here. The NTSB is on its way. And you might be able to make out that debris field behind me, the helicopter still smoldering. Across the hillsides, there are firefighters and rangers here to ensure that nobody tampers with that accident scene. It is critical to preserve it so authorities can figure out why this helicopter crashed and why this tragedy happened. Tom.
Matt Gutman leading us off on this terrible breaking news tonight.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your morning, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.